Hey guys, welcome to the Live Look, and I want to talk to you guys about Russell Westbrook and the whole OKC situation. I know they're not in the playoffs anymore; they're no longer there. But I figured this is an important topic just because this team was one of those teams that in the beginning of the season were, uh, they were being talked about with many discussions that were saying, oh, they could beat the Warriors. They're built in a similar way, so they could try and beat the Warriors. And honestly, there was never a chance that they were going to beat the Warriors. I mean, they are built to kind of beat us, but if it ever came down to a fucking series in the playoffs, there was no way they were going to come out and beat us. Russell Westbrook, very hard headed, very, plays with such a high intensity for no, like, obviously I get it, playing high intensity, but this is a team sport. I think you can't just think you're better than everybody else and try and turn it on when it's fucking time to win because he's not LeBron. He doesn't turn it on in that sense. So he can't just, run in and try and get a layup or shoot a million fucking threes because let's be real, Russell Westbrook is not a good 3-point shooter. So I just don't fucking get what OKC was thinking. I mean, KD left because Russ was a fucking ball hog. They went out and got Paul George for this 1 year, little experiment, thinking that maybe Paul George would fall in love with OKC. As it comes out, he did fall in love with the fans, but that's not going to be fucking enough to make you stay on a team where you know you're not going to win shit and you get eliminated in the first round to a fucking Utah Jazz team. Come on. So I have no. I am almost 95% sure that Paul George is definitely leaving that team. So that just leaves Carmelo and Russell Westbrook. Now I know that Russell Westbrook has a huge contract with OKC, so I highly doubt he's going to leave. I mean, people have been saying maybe he'll get traded. I can't imagine a situation where he gets traded just because OKC fucking loves him, and for the organization itself to go out and trade him, which would mean it wouldn't be kind of his fault that he left. I just see it really fucking difficult that happening, and I don't know what's gonna happen with Carmelo. I mean, he said he's not willing to take a bench position, so that's really interesting to me. I don't know what he's gonna be doing. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying he does deserve to be on the bench, but that team definitely needs to change in the offseason. And if Paul George leaves, it really needs to change if they want to be competitive, because right now they weren't even competitive with Paul George. And Russell Westbrook really needs to change his attitude. They're saying that one good thing they might do is fire Billy Donovan and get another coach. And in my opinion, that might be the best situation because Billy Donovan is honestly just a bitch. He's had James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Victor Oladipo. I mean, they've had a lot of stars. They've even had a lot of like just secondary stars, like I like Raymond Felton. I like their bench. They have had decent players that were even if they were B players, were pretty good B players to have on your team, even pretty good C players to have on your team. There's no reason. I'm not saying, go out and win a fucking title, but don't tell me you can't go out and at least get past the first round. I mean, this year you lost to Utah. Last year you lose to the Rockets. I just don't know. Like, how much credibility can I give? I know last year was, it was just all Russell Westbrook. I get it. He didn't have a lot of help, but I just don't understand. And one thing I'm really taking under consideration right now is that Russell Westbrook and OKC last year, which was the year after KD left, it was, it was that year where they kind of had to prove what they had. And in my opinion, I think that kind of made them do better just because they had something to prove. As in, like, now it's the year after. So, like, KD's been gone. And teams do tend to overperform the year after they lose that great player. But then, they come back to reality. So I don't know what's going to happen next year. I'm really interested in seeing. I don't think that Russell Westbrook should be traded. Not because I mean, in my opinion, fuck yeah, get rid of him, like, not a team player. In my opinion, very hard-headed, somebody who is going to be very difficult to just switch up and change their mentality to become a team player and not be such a ball hog. I know he's gotten somewhat better throughout the season if you want to favor that, but I don't think he's gotten enough to, say that he's changed his whole game. And people could say, yeah, that's his game, that's how he plays, but he can play like that forever. He's not gonna win a fucking ring. Like, you guys can keep saying that, but he's not gonna win shit. And I have nothing against Russell Westbrook. I have nothing against OKC. I honestly don't even think anything of OKC because they've never been a team to fucking frighten anybody. I still remember years ago when KD was on OKC watching the Warriors play OKC, and it was literally just like watching the Warriors play the fucking Hornets. I'll never forget that game where they went into like double OT and Curry just hit a fucking three from like almost half court from the fucking logo, and literally starts dancing on the court and fucking frying the shit out of the Thunder. Like, what is there to fucking be afraid of with that team? That team never has done anything. They've had great players, haven't been able to perform. Their coaching is ass. One thing I do want to give out shout out for that team is Steven Adams. I think Steven Adams is one of the few players who doesn't get enough credit on that team because he does do a lot. He's been on that team for a while now, and him and Russ, he's actually one of the few who actually gets along and gets to play well with Russell Westbrook. So I do want to give Steven Adams a shout out. I'm pretty sure he went to Pitt, which is huge. That's great. And he's Australian, if I'm not mistaken. So that's very interesting with Steven Adams. He is very underrated. I do give him a lot of credit. And I'm just really interested in seeing what happens during the offseason. I mean, I know they're done with their season, so it's really just a matter of waiting. I think the first step will be seeing where Paul George goes. And then from there, I think that the organization will, go on and see. I mean, I'm sure something has to be done with the coaching staff, or if it comes down to it, trading Russell Westbrook. Now let's think here. If they were to trade Russell Westbrook, what team could possibly, need him? Thinking here, the Pistons. The Pistons would be a great fucking fit. I don't know. Obviously, he has to change the way he plays, but that just goes back to it. It's a team sport. You can't play just like a hard-headed fuck and think you're going to win. You can't just think you're going to be like, oh, we're down by 20. Let me fucking run into the basket and I'm going to make every fucking dunk. No, that's not how you can think. But the Pistons do need a point guard. I know they have Reggie Jackson. I don't know what to think about Reggie Jackson. I mean, worst comes to worst, you can put him in a shooting guard position. I know that they have Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, so those are two great big men. I know that if they gained Russell Westbrook, those would be that's basically 3 all-stars right there. I don't know what you think of Andre Drummond, but I think he's an all-star. I know that Blake Griffin is an all-star potential. Russell Westbrook has been an all-star. That's 3 all-stars on one team. Reggie Jackson, if he could fucking, train himself, he could be either coming off the bench after Russ, or he could just take the shooting guard position. I think that's a pretty fucking solid team right there. I know that the Pistons also changed their head coach, so I'm not gonna lie. If Russell Westbrook were to leave, that's pretty much the best. That's the team where I think of him going. But another thing, if they do not get Russell Westbrook, maybe they should try and go out for Dennis Schroeder. From the Atlanta Hawks. He has been complaining that he is in his prime and that he can't be playing for the Atlanta Hawks because they have fucking nobody and they're not a contender. So he does want to leave the team and play for somebody better. And I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't be surprised if he went to either the Pistons or the Indiana Pacers, but I'm going to leave that topic for another video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about OKC's situation and what Russell Westbrook is going through and what I've been hearing in the media about Russell Westbrook getting traded. Obviously, all these questions will answer themselves as time goes on. I'm really interested in seeing what happens with Russell Westbrook and Paul George. Like, I'm really going to be shocked if Paul George stays in OKC. But like I said, anything can happen. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Please hit the like button, smash that shit. Leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. I'm always willing to hear what you guys are thinking. If you guys are listening through my podcast right now, thank you guys for listening. I hope the dog didn't take a huge fucking shit on your feet or some shit. I hope you don't pick up that dog shit. But thank you guys for listening, and I will be keeping you guys updated as always, and I'll see you guys soon.